Hey everyone, my name's Amanda Shuttleworth and I'm going to share this video with you of Vanessa, how I took her from this back heavy grown-neck bob into an elegant French bob. I'll teach you everything step by step and give you several tips and tricks you can use on all sorts of haircuts. I'll even share with you what products and tools I use. I feel this is an essential shape that you can have and use on all kinds of hair textures.
Greetings hairstylists, Mike Johles of LA SHEARTV. Welcome to our free salon education channel where we help you learn and master the art of hair by the best stylists in the world. For the last 2 decades, my company LA Shear has been supplying these hair legends with the 3 most reputable Japanese shear brands in the industry, and that's Hikari, Casio, and Kikui. LA is one of the most competitive cities in the world, and Amanda Shuttleworth is one of the most sought after cutters in our city. Originally a Vidal Sassoon prodigy from London, Amanda came to Beverly Hills and has been changing people's lives with her magic cuts ever since.
So I'm going to detangle Vanessa's hair with the CX8 series by Ibiza. It's one of my favorite detangling brushes. If you've got a client with that really thick, dense hair that nothing seems to get through, this is the brush for you. It feels great on the scalp, doesn't it, Vanessa?
No,
it's like a massage.
It does.
I've never seen anything with bristles this long. It's one of my favorites. And I'm going to use wires part combs because they're really great. They have like a lot of parting comb, which is really handy to help you separate the hair. And then I'm using a couple of shears by Kikui, who really do an excellent product. This is the Cobalt Ergo, and it's an offset shear, so it's really aerodynamic for your hands. It's about a 6-inch blade. And then these are my favorite texture shears. They can do a little bit more on one side, and then you turn them and they do a little bit less, or vice versa. So I can show you how these work a little later. So my rule of thumb for cutting the shape of this length is if I'm going to cut less than 1 inch of the length, I'm going to start with my internal layering. So then I can go in and complete cut the outline. If it's more than 1 inch, I would cut the outline first and then go to the inside shape. I'm going to section the back of the head off, ear to ear. I'm visualizing a line that I'm going to follow and then pull the hair out from the head. Her hair is very thick and curly, so I want enough of this outline to drop away to keep me some weight on the bottom. I'm just going to take the weight from about here. It's about the occipital bone. So I'm taking that corner right above. And be mindful that I don't want to lift this hair up too high because I don't want to get this area too short, because this is going to be my guide for the shape in the back. So it's pretty flat. Now remember, I am going to be going into this shape and texturizing and taking some weight out. So I want to make sure that I give myself some room so I don't end up with the layers too short. So what I like about using these scissors is the fact that the line is clean and the scissors grab the hair, they don't push the hair. If you're a professional, you will understand what I mean by that. For those who don't cut hair, it just means that you get a really beautiful, crisp, controlled line, which I can't imagine you not wanting for your haircut. When I turn my wrist to cut, because the scissors are slightly offset, if you notice my wrist, it doesn't make me buckle. It's very comfortable. So it's actually really good for your hand position because the scissors kind of mold it with the positioning. When I'm cutting with these scissors, when I move my wrists, it's very ergonomic. So you can see here that this shape's flattening out a little bit, but I'm not compromising the weight on the outline. It's a little layered, it's a little flatter, and I'm going to connect this in. Again, with most of my shapes, I put a rough shape in first. I get rid of the hair that I know that I don't want, and then I can focus on refining the hair that is left and that I do want. everything pulled back. There's nothing necessarily fancy about this technique, yet it's one of the most used techniques that hairdressers have. Now, I really want to show you something here. I want you to pay attention. When I comb the hair back, you have to think about where this hair is on your body. It has to be exactly the same spot as it was this way. So think of a reference point that you can find on yourself. I never want to see you buckling the hair. You want to make sure that the head stays straight. You keep the section clean. These two fingers, and you can see it doesn't affect anything here. This line should be really perfect and clean. Comb, tuck your comb, your fingers go behind. You can see your guideline, fingers come away. Don't lift higher, don't lift lower. If you want to learn more, you can lift higher with each section. But because I'm not sure if I want to do that, I'm going to stay consistent with my elevation. Here on the sides, I'm lifting the hair up, and because this shape's square, whatever doesn't reach falls away. So again, these fingers, even if you have to tape them together, get those fingers out of the way. Depending on the length of hair, there may not be that much that comes back. So I can probably come this back in to all of this section because this is too short. Because I'm working with thick hair, so this part is actually going through the hair much nicer. And even though you see I'm cutting things really, really clean, it makes the tension a little less tight, but it also keeps the hair in control. So it's not too wide. That's what I like about this comb. So already you'll start to see that it's getting a little bit longer towards the front. Now I like this because I can go back and personalize how light I want the sides to be. I can come through later and knock that corner away. If I go too fast, I could end up with what I consider an empty side where there's only half the amount of hair. So just coming through. Now with hair this thick, I'll do a lot of the cut dry because then I can actually see how much weight I'm taking out and where the pockets of weight are. I'm actually standing in front. Occasionally I'll stand behind, but sometimes I want to stand in front so I can really see how much of that hair is falling away. And I'm very much in control of how forward or back I'm pushing this hair. Now, let's talk about partings. When you have a side parting, unless your client is an absolute flip-flopper and they wear it one side, the next side, they're all over the place. You really want to cut the layers to balance the parting. I call it newscaster hair, so when you see someone on TV and the hair looks lopsided, it's been usually cut in the middle and then blow dry to the side. So if I comb this hair through, and I'll just give you a quick example, because the hair's on the side, with the layers here, if they're cut in the middle, what happens is this side has much further distance to travel, so it sits higher. This side has less distance to travel, so it looks flatter. So if I cut just evenly, then it's gonna look lopsided when it's dry. A nice little trick, even though someone would pick it up and it would look uneven, is to take away that tiny little corner right here on the part. You notice from the temples down, it doesn't affect my shape. So when I take this, gently, you can also wait, if you're not that experienced, until the hair is dry, to make sure you don't take too much. You're going to take that corner out of the part, again letting everything from the temples drop, so that when I look at Vanessa in the mirror and I look at where her layers go, that the layers sit visually at the same point. So she's not going to look wonky, she's going to feel more balanced, even though technically it's a little bit shorter. And I'll go through and soften that a little bit later. But that's just a really good tip. And I think I want to just break the length up once it's dry. So I think I'm going to do the rest of this once we're finished. So I'm going to use some product and we're going to blow dry. A nice combination for me for blow drying. There's a product that's almost invisible. It's called Mood Swing by Ergo, and that is a straightening spray. But also because Vanessa's hair tends to get a little dry, I love High Dive because it gives moisture and shine. So I'm going to prep the hair with Mood Swing, and I'm going to add a little dab of High Dive, and then I'll do a nice flat blow dry. Make sure with your product, you want to get it all over your hand, all over your palm. So when you flick it through the hair, you're not putting a dollop on, you're like fingering the product evenly through the hair, all the way through. I'm using the Ibiza B3 brush and I'm using the Elchim Run Dryer. It's very lightweight and I like to flat wrap a lot, so this is a nice brush to actually flat wrap with. and then turn and grab because it's got a little bit of tension to it. My dry is going down the hair with the brush. A lot of people aim at the hair and it causes flyaways and static. So let me show you. The Elchim Run Flat Iron, guaranteed also for a lifetime. I'm just taking some of the oomph out of this by flattening it gently, nothing too crazy. And remember, I have not cut the length yet. So with Vanessa's hair, it's very dense and thick, so I'm going to texturize it, taking some weight out with my favorite scissor, the Kikui Shark. I'm using the screw up to me first, which has got less taken out. So I'm just going to go through with sections how I cut, allowing the outline to drop away. So with your fingers, these are like a vice, these are a grip. So you want to really lock in your fingers, and I kind of have them slightly offset so I can control where that hair goes. So I go a little deeper, I go a little less deep. And that is so you don't end up with a lot of short hair and then just a little bit of thin hair. You can kind of take it almost in subsections. And again, I can subsection, so I can let the bottom go and go in. So Vanessa is a great example of where this tool can come in really handy because she's got thick hair. I don't really want to give her a short haircut, but I want to take some weight out so her hair gets lightness and movement. I'm always aware of the sides because there's not as much hair on the sides, so I'm going in multiple times, letting the underneath drop away and focusing more on the weight that sits right up here. If you notice, when I take a section and I do a manual point cut, when I lift the hair up, the way that I point cut is going straight down in the way that the hair grows. If you look here, this is different lengths. So when I look in the mirror at Vanessa, I want these to sit in the same point. So she looks like she has layers on this side and she's got layers on this side, not just layers falling on this side. So detailing, picking the hair up and detailing through that corner, not taking weight out of the bottom. Again, this is with my Kikui straight-edged Ergo Cobalt 6-inch shear. It's not picking the hair, it's not got any catching, it is really smooth. I'm just cleaning up Vanessa's fringe because she's trying to grow it out, so I'm just making sure that it looks nice and sharp. Because it's really got a nice kind of leverage to it and weight to it, it's really easy to point cut because the balance of the scissor is really nice. Now, when I'm doing the sides here, I'm going to lift the hair up a little higher so this hair on the bottom drops away. Remember, Vanessa, it's not what you cut off, it's what you leave on. It's about the weight distribution throughout the haircut. So it's a lot lighter and softer, but you're shorter. I'm next going to go through and clean up your outline and just kind of make it a little bit more even. Okay, so this is the finished look, just simply with not much product in. And you can see that I've just cleaned her outline up. She's got some layers, she's got some softness, she's got some swing to her hair. As we turn her around, it's got like a soft-ish outline. And there's like lots of texture and movement through here, even though it's been blow dried straight. And I like the fact that it's got a slight angle to it. Cleaned up her bangs, and I think it looks fabulous on her.
Thank you. You're fabulous.
Make sure to like and subscribe this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. And let us know in the comments section what you'd like to see on our channel, what challenges you're having, questions, or just give us some love on there. Check out these other videos with Amanda Shuttleworth. Follow Amanda on Instagram. If you're interested in hiring Amanda for education, shadowing, or contacting her, message there. All the amazing tools used on this video are available at lashear.com. The absolute best way to support this channel and continue free education is to purchase your tools through us at lashear.com. Links for everything are in the description. Thanks so much for watching. We love you all.